Hey there, Facebook. It is Vanessa here again, your motivational speaker, trainer, and head coach from Live, Love, Give. And today I have got a message for you, and it's all about generosity. And I want to start with asking you guys a couple of different questions in terms of how generous are you with the people in your life? And I want to talk about the fact that generosity is ultimately definitely in alignment with having a mindset of abundance, which affects us in all areas of life. And when we are not generous, we are ultimately spending our time in a scarcity mindset. Okay, not distracted anymore. So I really wanted to talk to you guys about this because it's super important in terms of our friendships and relationships and all matter of being in this world, to have a mindset and an ability to be super generous. Not only, I'm not just talking about like with money, because not all of us can afford to be super generous in what our perception of generosity is in finances, but just generous with your time, generous with your love, generous with, just shining light for people when they've lost it and they're lost in darkness. Where is your generosity of effort? And why I wanted to talk to you guys about this is it was kind of triggered because I think about my friendship groups and the people that I connect with these days, and I look at how different the dynamic is in terms of past ways of being in relationship with friends and all the rest of it, and it has absolutely shifted and changed in so many degrees. And one of the reasons why I was like, I didn't know what I was going to talk to you guys about today, because I am about to rush out the door and I'm running late. And it's Happy Australia Day to all of you Aussies out there, and to anybody else around the world. Or you guys, it is Australia Day in beautiful sunny Oz. And so I'm about to head out and go and have some fun out for Australia Day. And it got me thinking, because I went out with my auntie and uncle who are from America, that they were in Australia at the moment, and they came over and we went out last night in Melbourne in the city, and we had just a brilliant, beautiful night where, of course, we would, kind of like there was that, I really wanted to like be able to contribute and pay, and it was just kind of that battle of generosity. And it's something that actually just last week, or about 2 weeks ago, I was out to lunch with my auntie, and we've always had this kind of bittering kind of like, it gets kind of violent, right? Like who gets to pay? And I've never ever won against her until this day. And so she got a phone call, and I said, oh, I'm just going to go to the bathroom. So I stumbled and like tripped over a chair trying to get my wallet, but I got it, and I made it, and I was like paying, and she was still on the phone call, and she thought I was in the bathroom, and so she was getting up to make sure while she was on this call and while I was in the bathroom, she was going to pay. And she came up to the counter. I was putting my card over, so I won this round. And it's those kind of relationship dynamics that I think are absolutely the best. So that was an example of generosity with finances. But also, a beautiful girlfriend of mine who I'm about to catch up with now, it's so funny that every single time we catch up, and we don't catch up very often, but every time we do, it's almost like this battle as to who goes first in terms of, I want to know about you. I know everything about me. I want to know about you. And we kind of end up having to take it in turns. No, I remember I went first last time, so it's your turn, and it's kind of this battle of generosity. It's a generosity of a fascination to want to dive in and want to know and understand another human being. And there's so many different ways in which we can be generous on the daily basis, in all of our dynamics. Just being generous enough to share some positive energy with somebody is often just a beautiful act of abundance. And when we're not being generous in our lives, like why? Like what's that scarcity that's driving that potentiality of being abundant and making a difference and, really giving, and you always receive from that, being able to make somebody's day with your generosity in whatever form that takes, is just such a beautiful experience for you both. And it is such a great way of living your life, as I'm sure you guys already know, but I just felt called to kind of share that kind of concept and kind of just remind us all to recognize where we maybe got caught up in a bit of scarcity and we maybe not being very abundant, and we're holding back our love, we're holding back our effort, our time, our money, whatever it is, and it's coming from that fearful kind of place, as opposed to, hey, how can I light this person up today? Like, how can I be more generous with my love, with my time, with my money, whatever it is? And those are the best. That's why I've said that generosity is the basis for loving connection, because you need to be abundant and generous in whatever form that takes to be able to get outside of yourself and recognize the needs of another, or want to be able to light them up and make a difference, a positive difference in their lives. That is the basis of loving connection. And when we have scarcity, we're always just like giving a little bit but expecting something in return, or only giving when we feel like we've gotten something. And it's this whole scarcity give and take kind of mentality that kills the purpose of relationship, which is ultimately to give fully and receive fully. So I'm hoping that this shorter message today resonates with you guys, and definitely, I think that that's part of Aussie culture. Us Aussies, we like to look after our mates, as we would say, and I think it's across the globe, but we like to think that that's a good part of our Aussie culture. But definitely, I think that generosity is key, and I hope that you guys are just looking and being honest and being like, oh, have I slipped into a little bit of scarcity here? Am I not being very generous with my time here? Is there somebody who I could be supporting, or just like reaching out to, or just smiling at, that could make their day, that could add to their lives? And it's only going to serve to make you feel more abundant within yourself as well. And that mindset of abundance versus scarcity taps into all areas of our lives. It can keep people, in such scarcity that they're going on a diet or something, and they can't have that thing that they always have, and so they get in scarcity and they want to hoard it, or in any sort of way, scarcity in terms of money mindset, that keeps us really small and limited and penny pinching and scrounging. And if you're like me, I don't want to live my life like that. I want to have an abundant mindset. It also keeps people stuck in relationships. They're so scared of leaving a poor relationship, or they're so needy to get into a relationship because they think there's some sort of scarcity going on in terms of the people available that they could create a loving connection with. So you're never going to create a great, deep, loving connection when you're in that kind of scarcity mindset. And instead, let's have some positive expectancy. Let's have an abundant mindset, and let's think about the possibility of what we could create rather than what we could lose. What we stand to gain as opposed to what we stand to lose. So definitely hoping that this is of value to you guys. I want to check in, and I definitely want to make sure that all of you guys, if you want to connect with me, if you want to jump on one of my 15-minute power sessions, just so I can get to meet you, see what you're currently challenged with, see how I could best support you, and hopefully shift and find a new perspective for you to move forward to a state of empowerment, then definitely book in one of my 15-minute power sessions. The link's above. And if you haven't already, make sure that you come on over and join us in the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community. Nearly creeping up to 4,000 amazing human beings, and they're all doing amazing things. So if you want to be surrounded by positive like minds who are absolutely striving and they're not just settling, then you must come on over and join us there. Link is above as well. So let me check in with you guys. I've got Neil and Ram and Gary and Ian and Brandon and Hazan, much love to you, and Judy and Kim and Craig and Lucy's here, and Rian and Gary and Sam, awesome, and Jeremy and Junior Padilla. You're welcome. I'm grateful to have you here from the Philippines. That's awesome. And Michael's here, and Kua, much love to you, and Sam, so good to catch up with you as always. And Hazem, yes, thank you. And Aaron's here, awesome. And Craig, my goodness, thank you so much for those beautifully kind and generous words there, Craig. I so appreciate you. Thank you so much. And Ram, happy Australia Day. Thank you. And Alan and Casey and Angel and Lisa and Gabe and Bradley and Sam, appreciate you and your open heart of wisdom. Thank you so much, Sam. I always appreciate you, as you know. Namaste to you, Aaron. And Gabrielle's here. I'm very generous. My 18-year-old daughter told me I shouldn't give to ungratefuls. Yes, I firsthand know how absolutely generous you are, because you surprised me with that beautiful gift, which was so generous of you, blew my mind. And yeah, that's the kind of flip side. So the flip side of being generous is, you know, where do we draw the line between where we're giving and giving and giving, but maybe it's at the expense of what's being potentially appreciated, like your daughter is saying, not give to ungratefuls, you know, but also I think that we just need to be consciously aware about whether we are giving at the expense of our truth, or we're giving to get something in return, or we're really just giving beautifully because we're called to. And I'm a big believer in living in the moment, and if you feel it, give it, you know, don't hold back, you know, and don't, you know, think about, well, you know, are they going to give me something in return, or are they just not going to appreciate this? Maybe you do need to think about that if there are people in your life who you're consistently giving to. But I'm a big believer in always taking back the power and recognizing where it's coming from within you. If you are continuously giving to people who are apparently ungrateful, you know, why are you doing it? You know, is it coming from a place of trying to prove something or trying to make them wake up to your generosity or whatever it is, or get some sort of approval? Or is it like, well, it's not hurting me to give because I feel called to do it? And if that's my higher self, you know, giving generously and potentially I'm not getting a result from them, that says more about them than me. And I'm not going to let them project a mindset of scarcity onto me. I'm going to continue my path of giving generously when I feel called to, for no other reason than to just, you know, light somebody else up with no expectation whatsoever. You know, so you have to just go on that journey of self-awareness for you. And, you know, that's a good challenge that some of us have, you know, so definitely I love that. And when we talk about being in relationship with people, sometimes over time we can work out that, hey, maybe, you know, I can give my all, but, you know, I'm not going to get the other part of the equation back here. And that's another journey that we need to sort of be self-aware about. So I love you sharing your experience here, Gabrielle. That's beautiful. And Tanya's here, and Cindy, and Safon, and Aaron, do the power session. It was so powerful. And I loved getting to meet you, Aaron, you beautiful human being. Thank you so much for that. And Ram, what goes out from us flows back into us multifold. Abundance mentality is the key. Absolutely. And recognizing that an abundant mindset is absolutely not in expectation of receiving. It is fully focused on giving authentically, openly, abundantly, lovingly. And some people can get caught in that mindset of thinking that they're being abundant, but really they're giving to get. You know, they're giving to get something in return, and they're expecting that, and it shifts into this scarcity mindset. So it's like the scarcity mindset in disguise. So we need to be conscious of that as well. But I love that, Ram. Thank you so much. I always appreciate that. And thank you, Craig. Much love to you. And Tim, scarcity is living within your limited mindsets, and you can only go so far. Yes, having an abundant mindset, the possibilities are open to you and are limitless. Absolutely. That's kind of the difference between scarcity and abundance, isn't it? So in scarcity, we think there's some sort of limit and we must hold on and we must not give too much. Whereas abundance knows that it is just limitless, you know? There's always an abundance of everything. So why not give as we feel, you know? So I love that. Thanks for bringing that to the conversation, Tim. You're awesome. And Mark's here, and Stephen, and Jamie, and Mohammed, and Timothy, and loving that you're finding this awesome, Safan. And Alexandria, you've just joined. I love it. And thank you, Safan. And yes, so all of you guys who are just catching me now, hey Alexandria, I hope you guys catch the recording and get a bit of value from today's message. Just a short one, just a quick one, because I'm actually running late and I really need to get out the door and go and enjoy a little bit of Australia Day with a beautiful, generous friend. So, sending you guys, as always, all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I hope it's beautiful and amazing and extraordinary, and maybe not as hot as it's going to be. I think we've got some thunderstorms coming as well, but I hope it's beautiful, and thank you. And oh, thank you so much for those kind words there, Alexandria. And Chris is in the house. I love it. Sorry, guys, I'm about to sign off. And but I'm sending you all my love, and I love that we just got to that little bit of engagement at least. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Sending you all of my love.